It's rare a murder suspect represents themselves in court, but we're seeing it right now in the Capital Region. Jacob Klein acting as his own lawyer for the 2022 New Scotland murder of Philip Rabati. Back in 1990, another man, Willis Richard, did the same. He was accused of murdering a guard at the Port of Albany in 1989. He won another murder case where he represented himself, but wasn't so lucky this time. Bill Lambden reports.
He's not Perry Mason, but his record is even better. Mason once lost. So far, Richard has not. 2 years ago, when he was only 18, John Richard was his own attorney, acquitted on charges of murdering an Albany photographer. Now he's back, facing 5 counts of murder for the 1989 shooting of security guard Robert Altieri. During a long, rambling opening statement, Richard admitted trying to steal cars at the Port of Albany and demonstrated the way he says the guard made him kneel when caught, but blamed his 14-year-old accomplice for the execution-style murder.
I did not pull a trigger. I did not participate in it at all.
But during his statement, Richard admitted trying to steal cars, and that admission may do in the amateur lawyer. If someone is murdered while you commit a felony, you can be held responsible even if you don't pull the trigger. Richard has a lot to explain. He was caught with the murder weapon, not his accomplice. He also was shot during the struggle and still carries the bullet. Richard's blood was found on the victim.
The evidence will prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Bob Altieri was no less than executed by this man and this man only.
Richard did what almost no defense attorney would, outlining his entire case during his opening statement, in the process giving the prosecution invaluable assistance. The one thing he did not discuss, exactly what happened inside the guard shack when Robert Altieri was murdered. Richard said that will come out when he takes the stand. Bill Lambden, News 13 Today, Albany County Court.
The day the conviction finally came down, Richard was in shock, and his decision to represent himself also made prosecutors angry with how the trial was covered. Once again, here's Bill Lambden.
What was your verdict in reference to the charge of murder in the second degree under the first count of the indictment?
Guilty.
If John Willis Richard expected to hear any other verdict Wednesday night, he may have been the only one in Albany County Court. For over a week, Richard had tried to be his own attorney, claiming he did not execute Robert Altieri during a car theft gone bad. Although he has limited education and no legal training, Richard had won as his own lawyer 2 years ago when charged with murdering an Albany photographer. But not this time.
So as far as the question of fair trial is concerned, there can be no question but that this man had an extremely fair trial. Did he provide a good defense for himself? No, he was pathetic.
John, it looks like your defense didn't work. What is your reaction?
Back up, please. Back up, please.
They set you up? How did they set you up, John? John, do you regret defending yourself now?
No.
Why not? You were convicted. Later, when reporters tried for the standard post-verdict interview with the prosecutor, this already bizarre case took still another strange turn, as Assistant District Attorney Michael Katzer tried to reward print reporters while denying access to television.
Why don't you tell us?
Because you're not going to use it.
Well, go ahead, try it. You'd be surprised.
Nope.
What is the problem?
I'll speak to you off the record, and if you want to use it on the record, you can use it. Okay? Then shut off the cameras. If we're going to stop rolling, I'll speak to you.
Can you just give us your opinion on the case itself, and then what is it that you're having a problem with? I don't know.
For 1 week, the visual media failed to report on the quality of the evidence and the quality of the prosecution that was being made against this
Did you
defendant.
watch all of the stations?
All that was highlighted was the
know?
defense representation of himself.
Whatever perceived inadequacies of the visual medium did not affect the verdict. Richard appears to be facing a minimum of 28 years in prison.
Richard was sentenced in 1991 to 30.5 years to life in prison. He tried to appeal several times, but has been denied. For more coverage of past breaking news events, head to our News Channel 13 YouTube page and click on News Vault. Opening News Vault 13, I'm Rachel Teedy.